Tonight is March 15th, and this is session 13 of the second adventure of our D&D campaign, Dungeons & Drogans. During our last session, the Drogans had just barricaded themselves within an elaborate bedchamber, adjacent to a room in which slaves were being tortured, hoping for a few hours of uninterrupted rest after a series of taxing battles. However, an hour into their rest, the Grimmerzhul duergar, who were with the slaves, became aware of the Drogans' presence, and the leader of the clan, Grimmerzhul himself, came knocking on their door, with a massive maul. The Drogans knew they could no longer stay in the room. Fight or flight were their only options. Realized the Drogans were there to save the slaves, so he issued an ultimatum. Come fight him, or the slaves die. The Drogans valiantly chose the former option, charging into a chamber in which the slaves were being held in pits, and a duergar Thair, and two spined devils awaited. Exhausted and wounded from their previous battles, the Drogans could not stand to Merkelmore's might. Rhekd sacrificed himself to let Nima stay in the fight longer, and was the first to go down. Sara went down, guns blazing, and actually managed to kill 0 slaves this time. Coltaine held the enemy at bay long enough for his companions to take down everyone but Merkelmore, before he fell to the Great Maul. Nima, the most wounded going into this battle, managed to hold on long enough to administer first aid to save Coltaine from bleeding out just moments before he died, leaving herself vulnerable to Merkelmore in the process and subsequently falling to the Grimmerzhul. Winterhaven dealt tremendous damage to Merkelmore, but the duergar was an unstoppable juggernaut. And while Winterhaven could outpace him, he knew that if the Grimmerzhul managed to close to melee, that would be his end. So the elf retreated toward the entrance of the keep and hid within a nearby room, hoping Merkelmore would think he kept retreating across the bridge and into the next keep. Winter's ruse worked, and he returned to the slave pits and unlocked their manacles. He tried to rally the slaves to help him barricade the door and fight off Merkelmore when he'd return, but a schism caused some of the slaves to flee in panic just as the Grimmerzhul was returning. The frightened slaves exited the fortress through the back door and into the darkness and winding passages of the labyrinth, with a frantic Merkelmore chasing after them. That's where we end it. Once again, I'd just like to ask our viewers to let us know immediately if any issues come up with the stream. We appreciate it. And I'd also like to announce that, based on viewer suggestions, we're launching an exciting new feature: community forums. I encourage you to sign up for an account at dnd-d.com, where we can all engage in more organized and ongoing conversations than through the stream chat. You could make fan threads to your favorite Drogans, you can start polls about what character John should make next, or you could come and dissect and analyze our battles. So, the battle was ended. Remember, your objective in that battle was not to kill Merkelmore, right? It was to free the slaves. That was your whole purpose, your whole objective. It wasn't Massimo's. Massimo was going there to kill the duergar, but you were going there to free the slaves. You've succeeded, therefore you get XP.
Yay!
Yes!
Schism or schism.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Doug doesn't get anything.
You don't
You
get
guys
it
are all
'cause you
dead,
ran
so
away.
I should get all of it.
We were your meat shields.
So Doug, where exactly had we left off?
We were in the Horned Hold.
A little more specifically.
I'm next to the door.
Alright, so you had just seen Merkelmore running off into the sunset.
He's chasing down the labyrinth. Slaves in the labyrinth. And, I believe I just convinced, the smart ones to help me barricade the door. Then it's time for a short rest.
So you take your short rest. That's long enough for Nima, Coltaine, Rhekd, and Massimo to awake. Unfortunately, as each of you awake, one at a time, groggily and tremendous pain, and probably only with 1 hit point, since I don't think anyone has healing surges left, you eventually realize Sorrow is not waking up. Well, Doug does, but Doug's not Doug. Wintier does have healing surges left, but Wintier is not unconscious.
Do I heal up 7 then to awaken, or what?
With Map Tool, you only need to heal 1 hit point. Basically, in 4th edition, any healing treats you as though you have 0 hit points. So it doesn't matter if you have negative 5,000, assuming you're not dead. 1 hit point of healing will bring you to 1 hit point.
And since we have no surges, we have to actually take that 1 hit point of healing manually. Because just taking a rest doesn't do it.
Take that hit point like a man.
Understood.
I haven't searched the room that held the prisoners yet, have I?
No, not yet. I don't think so.
So while they're all waking up, I'll do a perception check.
He does love looking for secrets.
Get a 20.
Can I do one too, or am I busy waking up?
You're welcome to
It's got
spend
5
as much
minutes.
time in here as you'd like to. Wintier does not discover any secrets in this room.
I have a feeling the only thing of value was probably running around the labyrinth going, "My slaves!"
Do I find anything? In my, like, dying state?
What do you roll?
A 30.
Despite being a much better perceiver than Wintier, Nima does not find any secrets in this room.
It's like Nemo wants to make a point.
Alright, while Coltaine is groggily getting up, Winter walks over to him, grabs him by the scruff of the neck, hauls him to his feet, leans in real close, and he says, "Alright, I hate people, I hate stupid people, and I hate talking to people. If you ever put me through something like this again, I'm gonna kill you twice."
Coltaine looks momentarily taken aback. And then he kicks Winter in the balls.
I was drinking when you said that. It doesn't knock me into the pit, does it?
Hopefully you release your grip on my personage.
And they both fall into the pit.
No, that'll kill me.
So Winter, coughing, groaning, stomping around a bit, hauls Coltaine to his feet again. He says, "We've lost about half the slaves into the labyrinth. Merkelmore is chasing them now. We probably do not have much time. I suggest we gather who we can, what we can, and get the can out of here.
You're an antisocial jerk. But you know what? I hate to say it, you're right.
No, I'm Winter. I understand you had a near-death experience. Just take some time.
Now, I'm not gonna start quoting Airplane with you, but we've got to get these people out here.
Oh, and Sorrow's Day.
Yes, I just noticed. I'm supposed to be a good person, but for some reason I feel better now that she's dead.
Hey!
Nima walks over to Sorrow and makes some hand gestures that people probably don't recognize as holy in some way. And she says, "You're a brave warrior. The Raven Queen will be pleased with your company." And then she walks off.
Rhekd actually moves up, double checks to make sure that Sorrow is actually dead and not Winter coming up with some bad joke.
I thought it was a good joke. I mean, if it were a joke.
Did Winter even check on Sorrow?
No, he's... Well,
He's just assuming.
He's checking the room.
It's like,
He can
oh
tell.
yeah, she didn't wake up, so she's gotta be dead, you know.
No, he can tell because she has that funny little red skull floating over her.
Also, we had some pretty good perception checks.
They perceived no secrets on her, but she was dead.
Exactly. Right, Winter?
Yep. She does have some of our money, though.
We should grab that. In case
Well-
someone joins our party and needs it or something.
We should
Yes!
take her back to town with us, I think. Give her a service or something. If
Rhekd
you know what I
agrees.
mean.
Grudgingly.
Nima knows what you mean.
Is there materials enough, like legs and boards and stuff, to make travois quelque chose?
Let's grab the table or something.
Wait, you want to cut up dead people's legs to build a travois?
Yes.
That's...
You realize there's furniture in like every room, right?
Okay, so we
Also,
make,
which dead people? Sorrow?
Yes.
Cut up Sorrow to make her easier to transport.
Maybe Nima quickly hacks at the legs of the table so that they could be used to carry Sorrow.
So as Nima is working on the travois, or whatever this thing is, Rhekd detects no signs of life on Sorrow. Her heart is cold as ice, but that's not really anything new. Massimo walks by, pauses briefly in front of Sorrow, nods his head, and then walks on.
Well, less dilly-dallying the better, Coltaine.
Indeed. Coltaine looks around the room, at all the slaves, and he says in a loud voice, "We shall now return to the seven-pillared hall. I'd like to question some of you regarding the whereabouts of others we're searching for, but you are officially free. Unfortunately, one amongst us has died for this, and I hope you will be grateful. Although, to be honest, I've seen a lot of people die recently, well, in the past few months, all with similar personalities to Sorrow, and I can't say I'm that sad to see her gone. But she was a useful, if not dangerous, weapon for us to use. A tool, really.
She had a fiery personality.
In fact, I'd like to reiterate that Sorrow was a tool. Now, let's get out of here. I'm sure you all agree."
The slaves offer their profound thanks. Coltaine recognizes among them Rond Kelpham, captain of the Winterhaven Guard, and Delphina Moongem, someone else from Winterhaven, as well as a little goblin who's awfully familiar.
I don't think he's that familiar.
He's very familiar to Coltaine.
Coltaine approaches the 3 people he recognizes.
That'd be Winter, Nima, and...
Yeah. He starts with the goblin, cause for some reason that's the person he remembers best. And he looks down at him and he says, "Splug, I'm interested to see you. How did you get here?"
So yeah, the only change Splug seems to have undergone is he's grown a little pointy mustache, but he looks up at you with big round eyes and says, "Oh, I don't know."
Ah yes, Splug, that's more or less the kind of answer I expected from you. Don't worry about it. You've got your whole life ahead of you until you're murdered by someone stronger than you, which is probably just about everyone. Good luck with that.
Dude, that is cold. I thought you liked him.
Coltaine smiles as he says it. He uses his overwhelming charisma to make it sound friendly.
Splug blinks and gulps.
You know, every time you describe Splug, I think of Dobby from like Harry Potter for some reason.
Dobby.
Dobby, whatever.
He's still annoying, but pronounce his name properly. Anyway, then Coltaine moves to Delphina Moongem and Ron Kelvin, whose names he miraculously knows. That's
they
really
have
strange.
little slave name tags.
And he says, "I'm glad to see you're all right, but I must know, where are the others taken from Winterhaven?"
Ron Kelvin replies, "I'm not sure. We just saw some gnolls come by. They took him. We don't know where."
That's not much of a clue to go on. Still, we'll do our best. I think we promised someone from Winterhaven we'd save everyone, and now that Sorrow's dead, we might even have a chance.
Rhekd goes up to the one-eyed captain of Winterfell's guard, whatever his name is.
Oh my god.
Well, technically speaking, Rhekd doesn't know them, right? Or
No, but he knows the name of the town. Come on.
So, and why do I always keep thinking about Winterfell for some reason?
That'd be my fault.
Anyways, he asks if they've seen his cousin, or if he was taken with the group with the gnolls.